At any moment, President Trump is expected to announce Apple increasing its investment in the U.S. to a huge $600 billion. It's up from $500 billion. That's a big acceleration of Apple's U.S. investment over the next 4 years. It means way more U.S. jobs. Joining us now, Seattle radio host and author Jason Rantz. Jason, it's great to see you again. What do you make of this? It looks like Trump is securing $7 trillion and possibly more in the U.S. over the next 10 years, investment there. These are promises, but this is going to support a lot of jobs.
It is. I mean, this is precisely what folks voted Donald Trump to do, which is put pressure on American companies to actually invest in America. I know it's really shocking to have a president who takes pride in that, but this is someone who understands what's on the line, certainly the jobs and the other economic investment. It's not just about direct jobs from Apple. It's about all the indirect jobs. And anytime you see these kinds of investments, you end up hiring people who are tangential to what it is you're doing. All of the third parties who end up getting work because of these kinds of investments. It's obviously great news. And it's also a piece of the tariff argument. I mean, this is part of why we have the tariff strategy unfolding the way that it is. It's to put pressure on these companies to do the right thing. Sometimes you have to put that kind of pressure. It can lead to some short-term pain. There's no doubt. Certainly it can lead to uncertainty. But I think after an announcement like this, where they can't simply say on the left that, oh no, Apple was already going to do it. No, these are additional dollars, considerable dollars being spent. This is what we want to have happen. And I think overall it's a positive for everyone.
Yeah, this is Trump reprivatizing the U.S. economy away from Biden and the Democrats ramping up government interference, the government push inside the U.S. economy. I mean, Apple already supports more than 450,000 U.S. jobs. It's got thousands of suppliers, supply chain partners across all 50 states. When do you think the money is going to actually come in?
I mean, that I don't know. I mean, we'll get more details when the president speaks. So hopefully a lot of it will come in the short term. But overall, it's going to happen over the course of the next several years. No one's expecting, $600 million just to be immediately invested. But the idea of making that announcement now and the promise of those dollars and probably more to come after that is going to be enough. We've already seen the rallies on Wall Street today. But I think ultimately it's going to put some pressure, I think, on some other businesses to make similar moves. They're going to see the love that Apple gets as a result of this, and certainly not just love from the White House, but love from the American public who can support and appreciate businesses that are actually investing here. Again, I think this is going to be a game changer in certain communities, and certainly economically in the tech sector. I think it sends a really great message.
Okay, what do you make of President Trump now imposing 50% tariffs, 50% tariffs on India to stop India being Russia's biggest customer buying Russia's oil, which is financing Russia's war in Ukraine? This is the dirty little secret. Europe is buying Russia's oil via India as the middleman. So everyone is slamming Trump on Russia when Trump's the one playing hardball with Russia versus Obama and Biden saying words to Russia like, just don't.
Precisely. I mean, it slaps in the face the absurd argument that somehow Donald Trump is on the same side as Vladimir Putin. This is the kind of strategy you can enact to put the pressure on Russia in a way that's obviously going to bode well for Ukraine. And again, frankly, it bodes well for the United States. It doesn't just have to be about supporting Ukraine. It's about supporting Ukraine, Europe, and the United States. India is in a slightly vulnerable position. We have a lot of leverage here. And now we're using that kind of leverage to affect global change. I mean, this is a president who clearly doesn't want wars to happen. This is a deeply anti-war president, a position that Democrats, frankly, used to hold. But now all of a sudden, just because it's Trump who's doing it, they're saying, oh, well, no, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm sorry, but if Joe Biden was smart enough, wise enough to do something like this, they would be celebrating it as a brilliant strategic move. And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, so you've got that, the pushback via tariffs. I mean, the president's getting a lot of criticism about it, but he is resetting the table for global trade with the U.S. in a way we've never seen before. This truly is historic, Jason. And in the process, he's exposing how America really was getting shortchanged, and getting hit with a lot of, it's not just tariffs from other countries, it's also things like value-added tax, hyper-regulation, extra fees. He's exposing that. He's turning over the rocks. And what America is seeing is an America that really was getting abused, where prior presidents was letting America get abused.
Yeah, and he's doing it at great political cost, not just to the White House, but to the Republicans, because he's essentially giving Democrats a really easy avenue to attack the short-term pain that is associated with any kind of global shift like this. There's going to be some downside in the short term. It's just ultimately worth it in the long term. And he's willing to get hit with some of the smears and some of the bad faith claims in the short term because he knows it's what's best for this country. And I can appreciate that. I think I think this administration has to do a little bit of a better job managing some of the expectations on the short term pain and just acknowledging some of that. But I think ultimately this is going to be best for everyone. And I'm glad he's willing to take that risk in the short term, knowing long term it's going to help everyone.
Jason Rantz, thank you so much on the breaking news.